And today I'm finally hopping on the tier ranking bandwagon I've been wanting to play. There's nothing we like to do more as humans than rank shit and put it into categories. Today I am going to be ranking every TV series I have ever watched. So the first show that happens to show up in my massive block of shows is 13 Reasons Why. I personally am trash for 13 Reasons Why. When I saw there was a 4th season, I was like, oh my god. So I'm gonna put it in amazing trash binge. Next up is 30 Rock, which I watched back in college. The episodes a lot of times were hit or miss. I'm gonna put it in good. The Alienist. There's only one season of The Alienist so far, but I loved it. It takes place in 1890, and I just find where we are with technology advancements to be super fascinating. I'm gonna put, where do I put it? I feel like great should be reserved for something that I love is a little more intense for. I'm gonna move 30 Rock down to okay, because in my head it is just okay. Next up, we've got The Amazing Race. Do you guys watch The Amazing Race? It's always enjoyable. I'm gonna put it at good. Big Little Lies. Big Little Lies is on HBO. It has like a modern day Desperate Housewives feel to it. Big Little Lies for me also lands on good. Breaking Bad. It's definitely a slow burn, but it is so well made and so well written. That's why it's at God tier for society. Everyone was obsessed with it when it was coming out. For me, it's gonna go on great. I think it finished in 2013 and I rewatched it in 2019. And I needed that time in between because it's intense. Chernobyl. Chernobyl's a miniseries. I didn't know if I should include it here, but I did. It was a really significant piece of art. I was so full of anxiety watching this show and it was so heavy. If you can handle the intensity, it's definitely worth the watch. I'm gonna put it at okay. Community! Community is a tough one. I think it has to go at great. I stopped watching once it went off of cable because we were losing members of the cast, but the first 3 seasons of Community are so classic. They're so great. If you're a pop culture nerd and you haven't watched Community, you gotta give it a go. Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. I'm gonna put Crazy Ex up in great. Crazy Ex is so funny and so clever. I had the best time watching the first 3 seasons, and the last season there were a lot of filler feeling episodes because they had a longer season. That's why it's not God tier, because it's that good. Dancing with the Stars. I haven't watched Dancing with the Stars for a while because all my favorite dancers graduated on to other things. I'm gonna put it at good. It's about on level with Amazing Race for me. I've definitely watched more Dancing with the Stars than Amazing Race. Daredevil. I am still so sad that Daredevil isn't going to get a 4th season. This show is phenomenal. It's going up in great. Dear White People. I just watched Dear White People. It's so clever and quirkily put together. It reminds me of Jane the Virgin because it's so self-aware. It's going up in the great tier. Desperate Housewives. It's been so long since I watched Desperate Housewives. I feel like my perspective on it has probably changed, but I have never rewatched it. This was on when I was in high school. I think I'm gonna have to put it in Amazing Trash Bin. I looked forward to this show every Sunday like it was the best thing since sliced bread. I remember having such a big crush on Jesse Metcalf and that other guy who played Susan's daughter's boyfriend. You know what I'm talking about? Dexter. Dexter is one of those shows that when I watched the pilot, I was like, this is weird and uncomfortable. It's one of the first anti-hero TV shows that exploded onto the scene. We had Breaking Bad and Dexter around the same time, and it was fascinating to change the perspective because we hadn't done that on TV. Dexter is this anti-hero that kills people, but he has rules, he has a code, so he kills bad guys. It's all about that gray area, man. It's kind of like the adult version of End of the Fucking World. The first 5 seasons were great. I'm gonna put it in good. Dirk Gently. I feel like Dirk Gently is one of the most underrated shows of the last 10 years. It's weird and quirky, but genius and clever. It's an explosion of color and happiness on the screen. I really want to put it in God tier. I think it's going in God tier. Oh, it's the first God tier of the day. There's only 2 seasons of Dirk. It got canceled. It's so good. I don't want it to be just brushed aside as something you don't want to watch because this is going to bring you so much joy. You never know where they're going with the plot too, but they make it work, and that's the genius of it. Doctor Who. I know a lot of people aren't going to agree with me on this one, but Doctor Who's going to go in the okay tier. And this is because, for me, Doctor Who episodes are very hit or miss. After Matt Smith left, I did not continue watching Doctor Who because I couldn't comprehend the idea of replacing your main character. I still have trouble with it. Like, I'm so sick of watching when I was so invested in Matt Smith and Amy Pond and Rory. How could you change this on me? Downton. Downton is up next. Where do I put Downton? I'm gonna put it in great. Downton is great. It looks boring and then you start it and you're so invested. The characters just really grab you. Fleabag. Oh, got a lot of good ones right here. Fleabag is a perfect show. Fleabag is another god tier. It's one of those shows that you're watching and you're like, I wish I was involved in this. 4 Weddings and a Funeral, the Hulu miniseries. I also think this is only going to have 1 season because I don't think enough people watched it, but it was so good. It's so heartwarming. If you are a rom-com fan, if you like Mindy Kaling's work, you are going to love this Hulu edition of 4 Weddings and a Funeral. It's going up on the great tier. Right afterward, I just wanted to watch it again. Friends! Okay, well, Friends is an automatic god tier. It is one of my favorite shows of all time. I grew up on it. It was my go-to place whenever things were kind of shitty. It always made me feel better, and it's my anti-anxiety now. Game of Thrones. A lot of people give Game of Thrones a lot of crap now because the last season, but I'm gonna put it on great. It can't go any lower than great for me on the tiers. Gilmore Girls! Ah, Gilmore Girls is god tier. Gilmore Girls is so good. I missed it when it was on the air. I've been watching it with my mom for like 4 years now. Anytime I see her, we like slowly trickle our way through Gilmore Girls. We're finally on the last season. Glee. The first season of Glee, I was obsessed. I talked about it all the time. I listened to the songs on the daily. It was like an auto buy. When the songs came on iTunes, I was like, gotta buy it before the episode airs. I feel like I'm gonna put it in funny trash binge. No, I'll put it in good. Okay, it's gonna go in okay. Glow. Glow is really great. It's on Netflix. I really enjoy the 2nd and 3rd season. The 1st season was fine. Does it go in great or does it go in good? I'm gonna put it in good because it just isn't in that level of me loving it for great. I do think it is great, but it's just not on the same level as the ones that are in great, so it's gotta be good. The Bold Type. The Bold Type is great. The Bold Type is excellent. It's so good. Gossip Girl. Gossip Girl. I couldn't watch it when it was on because I just got mad at it. I feel like this is one of those shows that's kind of trash, but great. It was good to like a point, and then they just reset all their character growth. It's a fun binge until it's not fun anymore. So trash binge. Greek. Greek is one of those shows that I feel like not many people watch. Did you watch Greek? When I was in college, I found it, and it was so much fun. Cappy is on. Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. Greek is good. The Handmaid's Tale. Oh, The Handmaid's Tale is great. Oops, didn't mean to drop it in good. It's great. Heroes. Did y'all watch Heroes? Heroes was an unfortunate victim of the 2007 writer's strike. I was obsessed. It was my favorite show of all time at the time. Peter Petrelli is still one of my favorite characters of all time. Basically, any character that Milo Ventimiglia plays ends up being one of my favorite characters of all time. He plays great characters. I couldn't put it on good. It's tainted by the final couple seasons, or the last season. How I Met Your Mother. How I Met Your Mother had like 6 solid seasons. How many seasons did it have? Like 8? The last 2 seasons went so kind of off the wall, but I loved How I Met Your Mother. It was my favorite comedy for a long time. A lot of the storytelling aspects stick with me so hard, and a lot of the comedy. I think this is one that I have to rewatch because the last episode of this show burned my soul. When shows rewind character development and make it like it didn't happen after it was such an emotional ride, pisses me off. Jane the Virgin. Jane the Virgin's amazing from start to finish. It ended last year. It was so perfect. This is another great one for rom-com fans, for telenovela fans. Just the best. It's just the best. This is it God tier? I think it's great. It's gonna be great. I gotta be careful about God tiering. I don't want it to get as crowded as the great column, or else God tier doesn't mean anything. Jessica Jones. While season 1 scared the shit out of me, season 2 and season 3 I loved. I think this is should I put it on good or great? Oh, they opened up a new, nice. Okay, it's going in great. Or should it be good? Shit. Okay, I'm putting it in good, because the ones in great will rank a little bit higher for me than Jessica Jones. Killing Eve. I still have to watch season 3 of Killing Eve, but season 1 and season 2 are so good, I'm like tempted to put it in God tier. Should I put it in God tier? I'm gonna put it in God tier. I got sucked into this show so hard, so fast, and I think the writing's so good and the acting's so good that it deserves to be up there. Looking for Alaska goes on great. Lost goes in God tier. It's my favorite TV show of all time. Every time I watch it, I get all the emotions. If you haven't watched it yet, it's on Hulu. Love Victor. I just watched Love Victor. I was watching it before bed every night, and last night when I had finished and I didn't have it to watch before bed, it was so sad. I fell in love with all these characters. I'm shipping Benji and Victor so much. Love Victor is great. Did you guys watch Mad Men? I watched Mad Men in college because I felt peer pressure by the pretentious film people surrounding me, I had to watch it so I could know what the heck they were talking about. Because it was like Breaking Bad in that people would talk about it all the time. It was so good. I started watching Mad Men and it's really boring. It's about a lot of guys with big egos in marketing, and there's women there too, but it just takes a really long time to get interesting. Season 4 is when I finally was like, oh, I'm actually enjoying this. So I forced myself through 3 seasons to get to a point where I was like, oh, I'm enjoying this. And I'm not saying that there's not good writing and the characters aren't good. I'm just saying that it's kind of boring. So I'm gonna put it in okay. Because I see why people are praising it, but I still don't love it by any means. Mindhunter is a fascinating watch. It's about the FBI finally doing research on serial killers and kind of inventing the term serial killers to try to anticipate where they'll strike next. I'm gonna put this on good. It's one of those shows that you never get too attached to the characters because it's more about the concept, but I always enjoy watching it. Misfits! I have to rewatch Misfits. It's about a group of teenagers that's doing community service and they get struck by lightning and they get these abilities. All the characters are really great and it's really funny. I think I'm gonna put it in good. Modern Family. Oh, where to put Modern Family? I'm gonna put it in good. The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Definitely great. I kind of thought I was going to put that in God tier, but now like looking at the God tier ones, it doesn't belong up there yet. Maybe eventually, but right now it's in great. New Girl. New Girl is another one of those shows that the last season or the last 2 seasons has kind of tainted it in my mind, even though I had such a great giant ball of love for it when it first came out. I think season 4 was my highlight season of New Girl. I'm going to put it in good. The Newsroom. The Newsroom was an Aaron Sorkin show on HBO. There were only 3 seasons, but I was real invested. I really like Aaron Sorkin's dialogue. The Newsroom had this really uplifting feeling to it. At the end of every episode, it would make you be like, oh, it would hit you in this intense part of your soul. I really enjoy that. I'm gonna put it in good. Orange is the New Black. Oh, it's getting harder as I go along to put these in categories. Orange is the New Black is so good. I think it's great. I think it's going in great. That's where it belongs. Teen Wolf. Ah, finally, we've got a funny trash binge. That is where Teen Wolf belongs. It is the most fun trash binge, especially the first 3 seasons. Season 3 is my favorite. After that, things just kind of go really off the wall. It was already off the wall, but it goes insane off the wall. Like, there are no rules. Shit is just happening everywhere. And then when Styles left the show, it wasn't the same. Outlander. Outlander is going, oh, is it good or is it great? See, it's tainted for me because right now, Brianna has become a much bigger character and I feel like compared to all the other actors on the show, she falls a little flat next to Katrina, next to Jamie. She takes me out of it because I feel like she doesn't sell it as well as they do. I put it in good. The first 3 seasons are great. Parenthood! Oh, I binged Parenthood on Netflix. It was the best, most heartwarming cry fest. Parenthood is going in great. I can't wait for the day that I get to watch it again. They took it off Netflix, I think. There was a time where I wanted to watch it again, and it wasn't there. Parks and Recreation. This is obviously God tier. Get up there, Leslie Knope. Get up there. Oh, just let's put it right here. Yes. Pushing Daisies. Pushing Daisies was a gem that also got killed by the writer's strike of 2007. It only got 2 seasons, but they were so cute. I'm gonna put it in good because I have to do a rewatch. It was surreal, bright, and colorful. I was falling in love with it, and then it got canceled. Revenge. Oh, Revenge is an amazing binge watch. And I was just trying to decide if it goes an amazing binge watch or trash binge watch, but it's definitely amazing binge watch. I didn't see a final season of Revenge unless it got canceled. I can't remember. But up until that point, I was on board. I loved the lead character. And when she showed up in Captain America, I got so dang excited. Next is Sex Education. This show is excellent. And it's gotta go to God tier. It's one of those shows that's gonna make you so happy. Give you so many feelings. Stranger Things. Dang. You know, you just forget some shows exist because there's too many shows. I think Stranger Things has to go in great. Right, it can't go any lower than that. Survivor. Oh, y'all know that Survivor is the best show ever in the history of reality shows ever. And I have never, I feel like, had a deeper appreciation for it than I do now. I've been watching it since I was 10 years old. I know I say that all the time, but like that's crazy, right? I'm gonna be 30 this year, and I've been watching this show consistently since I was 10, and I missed like 6 seasons out of 40. John and I have been rewatching the seasons throughout quarantine, and I'm having the most amazing time. It's just a completely different experience watching them now because you see things a lot differently than when you were younger. You see a lot more of the gameplay in the show and the way they work in general when you're binging them. And I've always just watched week to week. So I love Survivor. And it goes on God tier. It is God tier forever for me. Teen Wolf. Didn't we already have Teen Wolf? Oh my God. I thought that Orphan Black was Teen Wolf and I put it in funny trash binge. This is so embarrassing. Orphan Black is not a funny trash binge. Orphan Black is amazing. It's like this close to being God tier. I think the fact that I could only watch it, binging it, makes it great instead of God tier. Week to week, I felt a little lost when I was trying to watch Orphan Black, but it is spectacular. Highly recommend binging that shit. Now we have Teen Wolf, and Teen Wolf goes in funny trash binge. That 70s show, I really enjoyed watching growing up. I have all of the seasons on DVD. I didn't watch the final season though, because they started to lose cast members. And when you start to lose cast members, you should really end the show. I don't know why, honestly. We decided to keep going. I know they're like, challenge accepted, but if your main character's gone, then what are you doing? The show's not the same anymore. It's a spin-off. I'm gonna put it in good. The 100. The 100 is amazing. It's one of those shows though, again, that I don't want to watch week to week because it's too dramatic. I need to binge it all at once. I think I'm gonna put it, great or good. Okay, I'll put it in great. The 100 is great. I love those characters. It's a little angsty at times, but we love it. We love it for that. The Defenders. Oh, it's such a shame. The Defenders, it flopped for me. I think it's just okay. The Good Place. The Good Place is great. The Mindy Project. Oh man. The Mindy Project, once it went to Hulu and it got so many episodes, I feel like Mindy had to do a lot of filler and it kind of lost its way. So I always think of that instead of how amazing and how much I love the first 3 seasons. And I hate that, you know? I really dislike that what you don't like about a thing that you loved for a long period of time is the thing that sticks in your head. I'm gonna put it in good, but the first 3 seasons were great. Okay, I'll put it in good though. Tier ranking is hard. The OC. So many people haven't seen The OC because it is a show from 2005. It had 3 amazing seasons and then 1 really wonky season. This is a show that everyone was obsessed with when I was in middle school and high school. Everyone would talk about it the next day. Everyone would obsess over the couples. Seth Cullen is still one of my favorite characters ever. Seth and Summer were my high school OTP. I want to put this in great, and I'm going to. Sorry, I did it. Even though the last season was super weird, I just don't really count the last season. That actually is a show that I don't think of what I don't like. I think of what I do like, and I've watched the first 3 seasons an overwhelming amount of times. So it's kind of like the 4th season doesn't exist. The Office. I'm gonna put The Office in great because it doesn't quite rank with Parks for me. It's great. It's great. It's just not God tier. This Is Us. This Is Us is going straight up to God tier. The writing in this show, the feelings, the editing, everything gets me every time. It's so excellent. True Blood. True Blood was my first HBO show that I watched. Once I got into it, there was no going back until we reached like the last season, and then I got out of it because things kind of went all over the place. That's what happens when something goes on for a long time, and I accept that. But I'm not gonna lie, that is what I think about when I think about True Blood. The ending went off the rails. Ugh, but remember Eric and Sookie, the ships. I was so invested in True Blood when it was on. I'm gonna put it, I feel like it was great. It was probably like a trash grade. You know, I'm gonna put it in amazing trash bin. The Vampire Diaries. The Vampire Diaries, I think I'm also going to put in amazing trash binge because it is. It starts off like what I would say is trash that I'm trash for, but then it becomes amazing, and then at season 5, it starts to become trash that I'm trash for again. But it's always amazing. Like, I always love it so much. Vikings. Vikings is excellent, but they did something that hurt my heart, and now it's only good instead of great. The first 3 seasons are everything. I think it was season 4 where things went awry for me. Up next is The Walking Dead. I watched The Walking Dead religiously up until the point where it happened with the baseball bat. And then I couldn't do it. I got so depressed watching the next 4 episodes that I was just like, this isn't worth it. I'm gonna put Walking Dead up in good. The first 4 seasons, 5 seasons are solid in my mind. Watchmen. Watchmen on HBO came out last year. It was perfect. I don't think there's ever going to be another season. I think this was meant to be a miniseries, but if there was another season, I would watch the shit out of it. It was so excellent, and I have no attachment to Watchmen, like the graphic novel or the movie. I feel like the movie didn't really do a good job of letting the significance of the story sink in. The TV show, first of all, it was made by Damon Lindelof, who did Lost. I actually didn't know that until I watched the first episode, and I was like, that was so good. And then his name came up on the credits, and I was like, oh, whoa, I'm watching this. It's one of the very rare, perfect seasons where every episode of the show is excellent to such a high standard, like in so many different ways. I'm talking like cinematography, script, acting, impact, editing, everything. So Watchmen is gonna shoot right up to God tier. Just get on up there. Get on up there. If you haven't watched it, it's only like 8 episodes. Weeds! I put Weeds on here because it was on one of my top 10 favorite TV shows lists at a time in 2010. It's the same guy that made Orange is the New Black, actually. This is another show that I never finished. I watched like the first 4 or 5 seasons. I'm gonna put it in good. No, I'm gonna put it in okay. I grew further and further away from loving it as we went further into the series. Westworld. Westworld is a perfect first season. It is so perfect that I've rewatched it 3 separate times, and every time I love it more. And I want to just hold it in my brain as that season. The second season had great episodes, but it was nowhere near that level. The third season, I stopped watching it 6 episodes in. I have to finish it still, but it was hurting my heart so much because it was such a mess. I think I have to put Westworld though in God tier because of how much I respect that first season. I think it was such a perfect season of television in a way that was so self-contained. I've never seen it like that until I saw Watchmen. Oh, it's so good. Watch the first season of Westworld. There's only 1 season. Just watch it. You're the worst. You're the worst. I just stumbled upon on Hulu one day. It's an FX show, so I would have never found it if it wasn't on Hulu. And I had just such a fun time binging it. I want to put it in funny trash binge, but it's a really great quality filmmaking, so I think I have to put it in at least good. The music in it is really great. The scripts are really great, but the characters are unlikable. This is like an anti-hero couple. They both don't do relationships, and they're not the nicest people, and it's them learning how to be nice people so that they can be together successfully. Oh my god, Riverdale. I almost forgot to put Riverdale on here, and then I was like, no, we need it. Riverdale is a trash binge. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed that trash binge hard, especially the second season. I continue to look back upon my binge of the second season with happy, reverent memories. Like, what a great time that was. But the third season, I couldn't get through it because it was so crazy trash. The Mandalorian. I added this in because I've watched it. If you've been here for a while, you know that I'm not a big Star Wars fan, but I love Baby Yoda, and that's what kept me going with The Mandalorian. I'm gonna put it in good because it's like well made, but there's no characters that I'm attached to except Baby Yoda. And there's no like big overarching plot line that I'm like, ooh, great, except Baby Yoda. And there's no like anything that I love except Baby Yoda. But I do love Baby Yoda. I will watch more for him. Shadowhunters. I almost didn't put Shadowhunters in here because it makes me sad. I'm gonna have to put that here as well, just because it would have gone in the funny one, but it got unfunny as I got sadder. The Umbrella Academy. This was great. I can't wait for the second season. There's only been 1 so far. I'm gonna put it in good, but I think it might eventually move higher in my brain. You! Ugh. I think You is fantastic. I'm gonna put it in amazing trash binge. I think the latest season, it tipped the scale into that like silly trash TV area. You're gonna have a time if you decide to watch it. Love is Blind. Love is Blind has gotta go in trash binge. Where else would that belong? There's so much on here now that doesn't fit in my screen. We're down to the last 3. Never Have I Ever. Mindy Kaling's new show on Netflix was so wonderful. It was such a heartwarming, family feels, rom-com-y, everything show. I loved it. It's going in great. Atypical. It's also super heartwarming. I'm gonna put that one in good. And then last, I've got Working Moms, which is a really fun binge. Also gonna put it in good. It has the same, like, it's fun and I like to watch it, but it's not my favorite thing ever. I'm not gonna like watch it again and obsess over it. And that was me tier ranking every significant show that I've remembered watching for the last 25 years. How do we feel about these tiers? I think the God tier looks pretty good. It looks pretty exclusive. I'd love to know if you disagree, if you agree with any of this. What's in your God tier that I haven't watched yet? Please share. My name's Christine. I make videos every week. I'm an author. My debut novel is called Again But Better. It's out now. It's a rom-com about a girl who studies abroad in London. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have fun. I'm Christine, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.